Welcome back, students. I am your geography teacher Vandana Joshi and you are watching SST June. Students, I hope you all are doing well at your homes. Today we are going to start the second part of the chapter Agriculture. In the previous video we have studied what is agriculture, what are the different type of patterns of the cropping, the different type of agricultures on the basis of their development and many other things related to the agricultural activity. Agriculture in which we are growing crops. So there are different type of crops which we are going to study in our today's video. There are few topics which we are going to study today, that is the major crops. Major crops means the crops which are grown in a country in the major basis like rice, wheat, millets, etc. Second is the food crops other than grains. Yes, we know that the commercial farming is also a part of the agricultural activity. So the crops which are grown other than the food for only the agricultural purpose are coming under the food grains. Crops which are not grown in the food grain crops. In the food crops other than grains. Here we can include the crops which are generally grown for the commercial purpose like sugarcane, the beverage crops like tea, coffee, cocoa, and the fiber crops also known as the food crops other than grains. Many type of crops are there like oil seeds are also coming in that. Then the third is the non-food crops. The crops which are not included in the grains and not the food crops. So here we can include the fiber crops like cotton, jute and etc. Even the rubber is also a non-food crops, but it is also a crop for the commercial purpose, so we can include it in a crop. At the last of today's video, we will study one interesting topic, that is about the Bhudan or Gramdan. What is the meaning of Bhudan or Gramdan? That we will study at the last of the video, in which the donation of the land or a village is included for the agricultural development activities. So today we are going to cover these four topics. At very first we will study the first topic, that is the major crops. Students, today's video we are going to cover with few slides and short videos. Hope it will be interesting to you. So watch the video carefully and try to give answer of the questions which I am going to ask at the end of the video. So students, first we will see what are the major crops. If we will see the major crops, the crops which are included in the major crops are rice, wheat, millet, maize, pulses, and these all are known as the major crops of our country. Here the major crops, as you can see in the pictures, the crop areas are basically the areas nearby the fertile land. So we will go through one by one all the crops. First of all, rice. Rice, as we know, is a kharif crop, and it is also a staple food or the most important food for especially for the South Asiatic region, and India is a country where rice is known as a staple food for the country. The majority of the people in India using the major crop rice. Here we can say our country is the second largest producer of rice in the world after China. China is the first country where a part of Mongolia is known as the bowl of rice. And if we will talk about the rice crops, the temperature which is required for the production of rice crop, it is above than 25 degrees centigrade, and it's required a high humidity or high rainfall which is around above 100 centimeter in the areas of the rainfall areas, especially the areas which receives a high amount of rainfalls are suitable areas for the paddy field. If you will see the areas where the rice production is there, these are the main areas of our country are known as the Kolkata one area, some northern plain areas, few areas from the northeast India, the coastal areas and the deltic regions are suitable for the rice production, whereas the areas like Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, these areas are having less rainfall, due to which these areas are receiving very less amount of the production of rice or paddy. The next important or the major crop is wheat. Wheat is the second most important cereal crop of our country, and the areas which receives less rainfall like Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh are the areas where the production of wheat is very good, because there is no requirement of high water or high rainfall. Here we can say wheat is the Rabi crop, because wheat is generally grown in the winter season, which is starting from the month of October to March, whereas the wheat is sown in the month of October and November, is harvested in the month of March and starting of April. Here, as already I told you, the areas of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and few parts of Madhya Pradesh are known for the production of wheat. The next crop is millet. Millets is a mixture of three individual crops, that is jowar, bajra and ragi. It is also known as the coarse grain, because it is a crop which is generally grown for we can say the cereal crop, in Hindi we can say mota anaj, and for example these areas which are having a good nutritious valued soil are generally known for the growing of millets. Here the crops which are grown in the millets are generally rich in the nutritions also, and the best example is ragi. The crops which are grown in the millets are mostly grown in the moist areas which hardly needs irrigation. Here the areas of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh are known for the millet production. Few areas of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh are also included in the production of millets. Now the next major crop is maize or corn. It is a crop which is used both for food and fodder, and it is also a kharif crop which required moderate rainfall and moderate temperature, which is between 21 degree centigrade to 27 degree centigrade. And we can say the areas in our country which are generally known for the production of maize are the Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Madhya Pradesh. The next major crop is pulses. Pulses in Hindi, dal. And we know that India is the largest producer as well as the consumer of pulses in the world. And the major pulses which are grown in our country are known as tuar. Tuar in Hindi, arhar. Tuar, urad, moong, or we can say lentil, masoor, peas and gram are the major pulses in our country which are grown. Generally, all type of pulses are grown in whole part of the country, and the pulses are grown in all the seasons. Like few pulses are grown in Kharif and few are in the Rabi season. Here, the thing which is mostly required for the pulses is the amount of nitrogen in the air as well as in the soil. The areas which are the major producer of the pulses are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Now let's see the next one topic, that is the food crops other than grain. Food crops other than grain means the crops which are used generally for food but are not the food grains. So what is the name of that food crops? Yes, the sugarcane, oilseed and the beverage crops like tea, coffee, cocoa and the horticultural crops like vegetables and the fruits are coming under the food crops other than grains. So out of all the food crops, the major food crop which is other than the grain is sugarcane, which is also known as the commercial crop and is a tropical as well as a subtropical crop. In the production of sugarcane, India is the second largest producer of sugarcane after Brazil. Generally, the sugarcane is used for the secondary activities in which it is changed into sugar, good or we can say jaggery, and khansari and molasses. Here, sugarcane is used in many types of industries which are related to the food grain industries and in many other type of activities like baking, cookeries, and it is also used for the sweets and many things. The largest producer of the sugarcane in our country are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, Punjab and Haryana. A second food crop other than grain is the oilseed, in which we can include soybean, sesame, mustard, groundnut and sunflower. These all are known as the oilseed crops, out of which the groundnut is a most important kharif crop. Also, the mustard is also known as the most important oilseed crops. Here in the picture you can see the areas where the oilseeds are grown in our country. Another food crops other than grains, that is the tea. Tea cultivation is an example of plantation agriculture because in that activity the trees of the tea are planted. And the main important thing in the tea cultivation, the tea can be cultivated only on that area where the area is receiving heavy rainfall but in a slopey area. There are many things required for the pre-production like the tropical and subtropical climate, heavy rainfall and well-drained soil which is also fertile. Here the tea crops are required a heavy rainfall throughout the year, also a moist free climate. So that's why it is generally grown in the areas of the slopey areas. Because it is a time taking activity for the cultivation, so it requires some cheap and skilled laborers who can pluck the leaves of tea, in which the procedure of plucking the 2 full and half bud of tea for the making procedure of tea. Rest of the leaves cannot be plucked by the laborers. because the main thing which is required for the tea, it is the for the topmost leaves, in which the 2 full and 1 half bud leaf is required. Here, if we will see, the most important producers of the tea are Assam, Darjeeling, Jalpaiguri, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Apart from these, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh and Tripura are also tea producing states in the country. The next is coffee. Coffee is also an important beverage crop. Indian coffee is known for the world for its good quality and also the aromatic taste of the coffee. Here we can say the areas which are generally known for the cultivation of coffee are the Nilgiri in Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Apart from these, the horticulture crops, in which we can say India was the second largest producer of food and vegetables in 2014 after China. Here in the horticulture and some vegetables also we can include, in which the important vegetables like pea, cauliflower, onion, cabbage, tomato, brinjal and potatoes are known for the horticultural crops. That is rubber, which is the industrial crop. Second is the fiber crops like cotton, jute and other. Students, about the development and the technological reforms in the agriculture we will study in the next video. But here definitely we will study about the next interesting topic, that is about the Bhudan or Gramdan. Let's see few pictures about that. So students, now let's see what are the agricultural development and the problems in our country faced by the farmers. Students, we know that our country's economy is based upon the agriculture. Around 45% of the country's economy is coming from the agricultural activity, where still we are so far from the development in the agricultural technique. As you have seen in the divisions of the land resources, here we are having only few areas which are covered for the agricultural net zone area, which is around 42 to 43%. So students, as the need is going to be increased, so what steps have been taken by the government to make a development in the agricultural activity, and what are the problems faced by the government to improve the technological development in the agricultural activity, that we are going to cover in our today's video. So let's start our today's first topic, that is the agricultural development in India. So let's see what have been done by the Indian government for the agricultural development in India. After the independence, the first important goal for the Indian government to fulfill the requirement for the food grains in our country, for which we were not having any kind of developed techniques. So the focus was on the cash crops and the food grains. During the time of the famine of Bengal, around 1960s, a lots of food scarcity was there in our country, as the government was not having any stock which is known as the buffer stock, and the government is also not having any planning for these type of conditions in which the country was facing a kind of famine. After that famine, the country has started revolution which was known as the Green Revolution. In the Green Revolution, the focus was on the food grains as well as the cash crops, where to increase the production of food grains and the cash crops, the government has decided some techniques in which the government has decided to use HYV seeds. HYV seeds means the modern seeds or high yielding variety seeds, through which the production can be more increased as compared to the past one harvesting, where the government has accepted many kind of technologies. Here the commission was also granted for the different type of technology in which a department for the food is also developed, which is known as the FDI. And here the government has decided to improve the techniques in the agricultural field, through which the government can be stock the food grains for the further use, where the government has created the buffer stock and also some ration shops, through which the government can provide the food to the people those are not under the reach of the proper grains. So there were many types of technologies and many types of schemes were used by the government to increasement in the technological development in the agricultural field. So let's see what was the strategy of government to increase the agricultural production under the topic agricultural development in India. So students, as we know that agriculture is an important sector of Indian economy. In 2001, 53% of population was dependent on it, with 57% of land under agriculture, which is the share of world is around 12%. Land human ratio is only 0.31, which is almost half of the world as a whole. So after seeing these type of conditions, the government has decided to make some strategy for the development in the agricultural activity, where after the independence, the increase of the food grain production was only 0.59%. So by seeing that condition, the government has decided to switch from cash crop to the food crops. When many problems were also there, because the cultivated land is not too much and the share of the net sown area is very less. So here in the increasing cultivated area by bringing in cultivated and fallow land under the plowing condition, where initially this helped in increasing production but later got stagnant. Later on, the Intensive Agricultural District Program or IADP and Intensive Agricultural Area Program IAAP were launched. So two programs were launched in the agricultural development, where HYV seeds and along with package technology comprising HYV seeds, fertilizers and irrigation immediately enhanced agricultural production, resulting in the form of green revolution, about which we have already studied in the previous video. And the green revolution was launched specially in Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh, which areas were more fertile. And this increase in food production helps the country become self-sufficient in food grains. Here, initially, green revolution led to regional disparities in agricultural development. Later on, it spread to eastern and the central parts of the country as well, by seeing its popularity and the success. Then after that, the Planning Commission initiated agro-climatic planning in 1988 to induce regionally balanced agricultural development in the country. Then later periods around 1990s, the liberalizations and free market economy will change the course of agricultural development in India. Even the Planning Commission of India focused its attention on the problems of agriculture in rain-fed area in 1980s. It initiated agro-climatic planning in 1988 to induce regionological balance agricultural development in the country. It also emphasized the need for diversification of agriculture and harnessing of resources for development of dairy farming, poultry, horticulture, livestock rearing and aquaculture. Then what was the growth of agricultural output and technology? So, in the last 50 years, there has been a significant improvement in the agricultural output and technology. How? The production and yield of many crops have increased, where the irrigation has played a crucial role in enhancing agricultural production. Irrigated area has increased from 20.85 to 54.66 million hectare from 50 to 51 to 2001 till. And then after that, many modern agricultural technologies has diffused very fast in various areas of the country, where the consumption of chemical fertilizers has increased 15 times since mid-60s. Here you have seen what measures have been taken by the government to improve the technology in the agricultural field. But still the agriculture is facing many kinds of problems. These problems are not only the natural problems but also the man-made issues also there, which are still a kind of barrier in the development of the agriculture. So now let's see our second topic of today's video, that is problems in Indian agriculture. So students, as we know that agriculture is a activity which is not depend only on one factor. There are many kind of factors about which we have studied in the previous video as well, and there are a kind of factors which are influencing to the agriculture activity. Few are affecting in the positive manner and few are affecting in the negative manners. When the factors are affecting to any activity in the negative manner, so that time it is creating a kind of problem in that activity. So here also the factors which are affecting to the Indian agriculture, that is the land reforms dependency on the monsoon, labors, and capital schemes, productivity, and many other factors are there which are responsible for creating a problem in the agricultural activity. As we know that the factors which are creating a problem in the Indian agriculture are the most important factor. So how these factors are affecting to the Indian agriculture, we will see through some slides and the videos. So students, now let's see what are the problems of Indian agriculture. Indian agriculture is not a single kind of activity. It can be affected due to many kind of factors which can be known as the agroecological, historical, and many other type of problems, in which we can include some physical constraints as well as the institutional problems. So where the first major problem is that the dependence on erratic monsoon. As we know, the Indian agriculture is based upon the monsoonal conditions. So irrigation covers about 33% of the cultivable land in India. The crop production in rest of the cultivated land directly depend on the rainfall. Spatio-temporal variation in rainfall caused fluctuation in steady supply of water and make them vulnerable to both drought and the flood. The next factor which is influencing it, that is the low productivity. The yield of the crop in the country is low in comparison to the international level because of the very high pressure on the land resources. The labor productivity is Indian agriculture is also very low in comparison to the international level. If we will go through the next point, that is the constraint of financial resources and indebtedness. The inputs of modern agriculture are very expensive for marginal and small farmers. For them to invest in agriculture, crop failures and low returns from agriculture have forced them to fall in the trap of the debt, because for requirement of the agricultural activity, the marginals and the low farmers, they have to take a loan from the bank. If the agriculture is failure, the crop is failure on that particular season, so they are unable to pay the loan, which is a kind of very big disappointment for them to pay the loan to the bank. The next is lack of land reforms. In India, there had been unequal distribution of land over the years. Though land reforms were made after independence, they were not implemented effectively due to lack of strong political will. Lack of implementations of land reforms resulted in unequal distribution of cultivable land. As in the previous videos you have listened about the land distribution, where still we are having very less net sown area. The next factor which is affecting to it, that is the small farm size and fragmentation of landholding. There are a large number of marginal and small farmers in the country. The average size of landholding is shrinking due to law of inheritance. The landholdings are mostly fragmented. Even the states where consolidations of landholding was carried out once, second consolidation is required. The small size fragment landholding are uneconomic. The next point, that is about the commercialization, is India is having lack of commercialization in the agricultural activity. A large number of farmers produce crops for self-consumption. These farmers do not have enough land resources to produce more than their requirement, which is coming under the subsistence type of farming. So here most of the small and marginal farmers grow food grains which are meant for their own family consumption. So the commercialization of the farming is very less in our country. Next is the vast underemployment. There is a massive underemployment in the agricultural sector in India. Particularly in the unirrigated tracts, the people engaged in agriculture do not have the opportunity to work round the year, as the agriculture is not for the whole year, it is the seasonal activity. So the laborers don't want to be involved themselves in the agricultural activity due to the less employment in the agricultural activity, due to which the lack of laborers is also faced by the agricultural activity in our country. Next is the degradation of cultivable land. The degradation of land resources is a serious problem caused due to faulty strategy of irrigation and agricultural development, which leads to depletion of soil fertility. Excessive use of chemicals such as insecticides and pesticides has made the soil toxic. Absence of leguminous plants and decrease in duration of fallow land has reduced natural fertilizations on soil. So students, hope you understood our today's video and the topics which I have discussed in the video. Here I am providing you few short type of questions which are based upon the video. Try to give the answer of that questions in the comment box. And for the next part of the chapter, in which we will see the food scarcity, the development in the agricultural activity, keep watching SST Zone.